Go online, and you can do more than just hear us. You can also watch us on the video feed at NBC1260.com.
And welcome back to Beyond the Curve, providing strategic insights on international business and international law. I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside my co-hosts, Dr. Adriana Sanford, Anish Gore, and Ryan Gregg. Let's talk about knowing your customers. Today's companies are moving towards a customer-focused organizational structure, and under this structure, a company's marketing department is often seen as hugely important within the functional level of the organization. Can you elaborate on this, Dr. Sanford?
Yes, this is a change. If you look back maybe 10, 15 years ago, the marketing department was not, actually it was kind of disregarded, or they were the nut jobs down the hall who threw pencils into the ceiling tiles. They didn't have the respect that they needed.
Right.
And today I think companies have realized the importance of the marketing department, and companies' orientation has now shifted, and it's more of a customer-focused orientation. This is really important. A business with a strong customer focus stays in close contact with their customers and delivers usually a higher level of satisfaction. What we're seeing is some of these companies are even now starting to tap into what's called the Groundswell. The Groundswell is the social media that's out there, the new technology, and it's important for companies that are not involved to really start taking a look and focusing in on the importance of this new technology that's out there.
It's a little more important than just having a Facebook fan page. You have to be actively using the social media.
Right. And there's several different ways of doing that. I think that certain companies like General Electric has been very, very good and very much on top of it. There are, depending on what you're looking for, there are private communities out there where you can go ahead and structure your own little online community to get information on your customers. You can have them participate and give you ideas for innovation, feedback, whatnot.
That's absolutely a great point. There's companies out there that if Groundswell is something a little bit new to you, that you definitely want to take a look at it. There's companies out there that will help you and actually consult on the best way to actually approach the market, the different mediums within the Groundswell, and do it effectively to your client base. There's companies out there that will monitor your reputation on the website as well and look for any kind of conflicts, any kind of disparaging remarks that are posted, and help you deal with those. As we all know, that can be quite damaging once that spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, adding to Ryan's point, even if the company is new to Groundswell and they have no established base, they can at least start off with surveying people, because most of their customers would be using social media. If not products, at least they can do surveys online through digital marketing or digital media that will give them an idea what not to produce or what to make better in their products that will help their business grow.
You have to pay attention to your customers in any format, in any media they happen to be involved in.
Right.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right. And once you get involved, there are so many different phases of this. There's a great book out there. It's actually called The Groundswell. And it discusses energizing the Groundswell and helping the Groundswell to support itself, embracing the Groundswell. I mean, there are different stages. So it's an ongoing process. And the more you know about it and the more you can participate in it, the more feedback you'll get, which helps with customer retention. It helps you to understand your customers and create more of a loyalty. It's amazing. And actually, you've got some companies out there that have hired people, as Ryan said, they either hire companies or they have individuals, employees within the company that are listening to the customer. The customer now has a lot more strength than it did in the past. And this is why, if you want to succeed, you need to be listening to what's out there. And you need to be focusing on what your customer really wants.
Your individual customers now have a louder voice than they've ever had in the history of business with the social media. They can say something that is reached by 500, 1,000, 5,000 of their friends just on Facebook in one instance, where before you just didn't have that sort of connectivity. Word of mouth took a lot longer. I actually had an experience last week with a Groundswell type of thing. I drink a lot of Mountain Dew. I'm well known for it. It's basically what goes through my blood veins and keeps me alive. I'm pretty sure if I stopped drinking it, I would just sort of fall apart like one of those guys on Indiana Jones when you looked at the Ark. But, so I got a bad bottle of Mountain Dew. It's never happened before. I just opened it up. It tasted horrible.
Is that possible?
I know.
Another Mountain Dew. Are you also a Mountain Dew drinker?
No, I don't drink Mountain Dew. I'm just like, I didn't think there was anything really real in it. So.
It didn't taste like the same antifreeze I was used to. So I called. I was on there. I do a morning show here at NBC 1260, and I called the 800 number on it, and I started talking to the lady at customer service, and I was playing with her a little bit. I have a love and a long history with Mountain Dew. I've made a Mountain Dew Christmas tree out of cans. I have
a loyal fan. Yes.
Oh yeah, I had for my birthday recently. They made me a Mountain Dew birthday cake. Kind of gives you the idea. I'm not the fan of Mountain Dew you want to disappoint. So I called this lady up, and she was very nice and very businesslike, but didn't want to hear about my love for Mountain Dew. She just wanted to get my address. She wanted to get me out this, which is what they sent me for my trouble, a free 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
He's showing us a
a coupon, and I was a little disappointed because here I am calling up Pepsi saying, "Oh, I love your product. I'm a little disappointed. I got a bad batch," and it just didn't feel like they cared or did much for me.
And that can be really, really problematic for the company.
Right. So not 15 minutes later, now I don't know if it was somebody from Pepsi who was listening to the show and jumped on this and went, "Oh my gosh, we can't have this," or if it was somebody within the organization, they'll monitor phone calls for quality assurance, that jumped on it immediately. With 15 minutes, I had a call in here to the show, and there was a very nice representative of Pepsi who was saying, "We are going to send you a gift basket. We're going to take care of you. We appreciate your loyalty and support." I haven't gotten it yet, but I can't wait to see I hope they back a truck up of something.
With Mountain Dew.
Well, she did say there would be some free product, but there's going to be some nice little goodies. Yeah. Now, that is the example of somebody monitoring the Groundswell and doing it right. Because at first, I was like, of course, again, playing it up for the listeners. I was kind of like, really? That's all my years of being on this fine beverage? That's all I got? And then they made up for it hugely.
And you need to respect that. People are out there. They have a desire to connect with each other. And it's evolving at an ever-increasing pace. And if you go slower or you go faster, you just have to move forward as a company. You cannot just sit back.
Is it expensive to? I mean, how many in the grand scheme of a large corporation? Is this an expensive product to have people monitoring, or is this a nominal amount of money?
It's actually very, very inexpensive, and there's so many different ways. It depends on what you're looking to achieve. There are different technologies out there for everyone and for different audiences. You just need to, don't just go out there. This is a very important point too. Don't just go out there and say, "Oh goodness, I'm going to be part of this." You need to research first and figure out who your audience is, because there are different audiences. There's joiners, there are those that join. There are those that like to speak and like to blog. There's just a wide array of different people. And so you may be joining the wrong group. And even with social networks, you've got different audiences for everyone. You've got LinkedIn, which targets the working professionals. Mm-hmm. The Brazilians joined something called Google Orchid, I think it's called.
Orchid, yeah.
Yes, and then the South Koreans are dominated by Cyworld. So, of course, and here we have Facebook and Twitter in the United States, where hundreds of millions of members have joined. So you need to, I would suggest that every company should have at least a Twitter or a Facebook account, if not both. But you also need to be aware of what your audience is doing, and if they are interested in speaking, like you'd be an excellent example of an individual that Mountain Dew would want to recruit.
I wish they would.
But, also another point which I want to make is you need to be aware that your own employees are using Facebook, and whether or not, they may not be doing it in the office. You may have eliminated that possibility. They are discussing your policies, and together they're communicating with the public. So you need to be involved as well.
Agreed. In fact, you bring up a really good point that I think is often ignored. Sort of more progressive companies are taking a look at their employee relationships, et cetera, because the whole Groundswell is about people being able to mass communicate very quickly and very efficiently.
Adding to Adriana's point about your question on cost, how costly it is to monitor everything, I think it's pretty inexpensive, because you can have softwares that will filter down all your messages that has your company name in it to one feed and give you a daily report on it. And even if not daily, then you can have more frequent reports and monitor it. And as soon as something happens, you can take an action on it before it gets too late, before somebody files a lawsuit against you. as Jeffrey said, like he was about to go to file something. But
Yes, I had my
There we go.
I had my
No.
briefs ready. That's for sure.
Right, but it's true. I mean, it's a early warning signal. Not only do you know which customers are satisfied, can you be more innovative in producing, but also if you've got issues, if you've got challenges, it's an early warning signal. So you're on top of everything. And with regards to advertising, advertisers are shifting more and more of their money online. We've got marketing departments, which are more important right now because of customer focus, but you also have this parallel going on. And not only do you have to market, you also have to explore the groundswell.
Sounds like you have to have your employees kind of happy as well as your customers, because as Dr. Sanford has mentioned, even if you're not on the internet, your employees are. It would almost save you money to have all of your employees involved in the groundswell, have everybody involved in the social media party together. That way they know you're watching. They're not going to say, this stuff they shouldn't. But everybody working together in a company, and they're already on the Facebook. They're already on the Twitter doing these things. So if everybody is working together, you probably save money, and you might also help inspire your employees, to be more cohesive.
And actually, there are companies that are doing that. There
Agreed.
are companies that set up reviews and encourage employee feedback. And don't, if you're going to set this up, don't go through there and start deleting negative messages, because what makes it legitimate is the fact that not everybody's going to like you.
I do that on my show, though, because my mom just keeps over and over. I'm like, no, Mom, no, stop it, stop it. I think what Dr. Sanford was trying to say, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, was you don't just take off all the negative comments. Show them how you're going to fix things. Show them what you're willing to do for them as the customer.
And a customer knows, the audience knows, if it's too perfect, it's been set up. It's not real.
And sometimes it's very important for the companies, on top of not deleting anything, it's very important to use real people's name as well, because somebody's somewhere going to Google you and find out if you actually work for that company. And if you're an executive replying to a response that was negative online,
they'll get you.
Yeah, and you change your name, or you're trying to save the name of the company, whatever it is, you need to be real, because this is live and real.
I liked your idea of using the technology to pick out where your company's name is heard, but then Ryan also is right. Using a real person to respond to those things keeps them from feeling like it's a disconnection.
Agreed. And you brought up a good point, too, as well, just a few minutes ago. And that is, you have to keep it real. If you sit there or you go and you delete negative comments and such like that, guess what? Those people, what you just tried to create, they're going to go find.
Yes.
They're going to go out and find another way to communicate, and they're going to create their own networks.
And it
groups.
runs
I'm
like
sorry.
wildfire.
The Streisand effect means that the people are going to start singing really horrible songs? What is the Streisand effect?
Remember with Barbara Streisand, she tried to get her house, it was photographed on the internet, and she called up or complained, and people got word of it, I guess word of mouth.
And it spread more like wildfire because she was trying to take it down.
Yeah.
So the more you try to cover it up, the more interesting it becomes, and the reverse effect of trying to...
Psychological.
Gotcha.
Right. People get angry. It's a very powerful tool, because it's just like with the WikiLeaks. Remember what happened with Wiki? And the more people were told not to do something, the further it went. You have to have respect for this new technology.
Have we learned nothing from Richard Nixon? Just saying. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about emerging markets. This is Beyond the Curve, along with Dr. Adriana Sanford, Ryan Gregg, Anish Gore. I'm Jeffrey O'Brien. We'll be right back after this.
NBC 1260.